Hello and welcome back to Live, Laugh, Stuck. My name is Jackie, aka Jax, and I guess this is your irregularly scheduled 413 episode. It's not like the last ones. So, okay. My typical 413 episodes, I say typical, I've only made two, have been about what brings us together this 413, how we all love Homestuck, and we need to stop and think about what keeps us all together and what we have in common and how great it is. Don't we all love Homestuck? Isn't that wonderful? Well, I'm not feeling that this year. So I'm not going to do that. This is more like just a bonus episode that happens to be released for 413, and maybe there'll be some overarching anniversary point at the end. But no, this is going to be more like that bonus episode I had when I got really angry at PesterQuest, because this is going to be me being really angry at PesterQuest, and maybe other things, I haven't decided. So if that's not the vibe you want, because that's not what this podcast is supposed to be about, and that's why I stopped making this podcast, because that's what it was going to turn into. Yeah, if you're not about that vibe, don't listen. That's fine. Genuinely, stop. I completely understand. Again, I stopped the podcast so it wouldn't turn into this, but I'm going to indulge myself and make an episode after a year to be angry about things and vent about things, and maybe some of y'all will like it, maybe you won't. Again, that's what it is. Maybe at the end I'll talk about more about the state of the podcast and what else I have going on, but I just wanted to give a warning. This is not my happy-go-lucky, love each other, Homestuck episode. This is that bonus episode of content I had to cut out of the regular episode because I got too mad. Also a warning, I have not replayed PesterQuest for the purposes of this episode, so I'm going to be going based off of what I remember from playing it, probably 6 months ago by now, which is still, fairly recent compared to when they were actually released, because as you might remember, I played and reviewed PesterQuest up until the end of the Trolls. I finished the Trolls, it was aired in Infafairy's route, and I made that bonus content of being very angry, and that was in January, I think, and then shit went down in February, and I stopped. I did not play the Alpha Kids at that time. I kind of dropped out of the Homestuck fandom, so I wouldn't have to see the Alpha Kids, and for many other reasons at that time, so I didn't end up actually playing them until, it was probably, actually, it might have not been till, October that I ended up playing. So, it was a while. So yes, I guess you can consider this my Lost PesterQuest review. Except instead of 4 episodes, it's just the one, and I won't be reviewing them individually as much, because I don't remember a lot of it, because it's been 6 months. But fuck it, this is my podcast. So Reader ends up going over into alternate universe due to shenanigans. Tries to go back to John, doesn't work, ends up with Jane, and okay. I'm not a huge Jane stan. I'm friends with a huge Jane stan, Dami, who has been on this podcast multiple times, loves Jane so fucking much. So, Jane wasn't, a huge big deal. I like that they focused on, yes, she likes to, solve mysteries and shit. Just that introductory shit that we kind of forget about throughout the comic, how John is a prankster and, has, technically also, likes magic tricks, beyond the fake handcuffs that get, brought up whenever Dad Egbert escapes from the people, listen, I don't know, the fucking Durst people later on. Like, we don't think about how John likes magic tricks ever again. That's just kind of the kids' introductions for the most part. So I kind of like that, this is still at introduction time, so we get Jane doing detective work, which is neat. And we get her baking, which is obvious. I mean, not that it was bad. It was just like, if we didn't get baking, then what's the fucking point? And I really like the baking ending. I fucking fooled you. It's some cool shit. But this is where we start to see, like, oh, Jane is, like, distractedly texting someone else who, I'm pretty sure is, like, Jake. I forget if it's said in there or just hinted to be Jake or what. But just, like, obviously having this frustrating time texting someone. And that someone is who we go to next. We go to Jake. And, oh my god. Again, it's been a while, so I don't remember everything. I remember Vriska was there at one point. I remember the whole thing is like, oh yes, I have this robot who's going to beat me up because my good friend sent it to me, and I can't stop it because I don't know how. And if I ask him how, he's not going to actually tell me. And you're like, oh, well, this sounds like a very abusive relationship. This is bad. And he's like, no, it's fine. And just it's about him not standing up to his friends and, like, not telling his friends how he really feels about stuff. And then you get Vriska in to try to, like, fix it. But Vriska doesn't actually care. I mean, honestly, Vriska should take a extreme interest in Jake's life just because she likes fucking up pages. But maybe that's just me. Anyway, and we get this whole thing like, oh man, you should stick up to your friends when they're doing something bad. You can't enable your friends to do bad things. Wow, What Pumpkin? Think about it. Hey, What Pumpkin? Think about it. Fuck you. Anyway, so it's whatever, but we're basically getting this really bad idea of, like, who Dirk is, which is expected, but still. And we go over to Roxy next. And listen. I don't like Roxy's art style. I think it would be different if all the kids were... Like, so the trolls all have very different art styles for the most part. Like, each troll looks very different. Oh, I forgot to turn off my phone. I'm a very professional podcast person. Let me do that. I'm not redoing this. Anyway, so, like, but the kids all have the same exact art style, except for Roxy. And it just is not, it doesn't make cohesive sense. And if you're like, well, it's because she's black, I'm like, okay, so you're saying none of the other kids are black. Like, again, it would be different if they all had different art styles and this was Roxy's art style. That would be fine. But they all have the exact same art style except for Roxy. Listen, I'm not an artist, and I'm white, so I should probably shut the fuck up. But this is my angry episode, so I'm just gonna say things. Like, I feel there would be ways to black code Roxy while still keeping in line with the same art style every other character was, like every other human character had. I don't think that, like, should have been a difficult prospect. Like, there shouldn't be an art style that says, this is a white-coded only art style. And if they wanted to do Roxy so differently, they should have done all the kids differently. That's my thing as a non-artist and a white person. So basically useless. But I say my opinions, and that's what they are. And then we get I fucking hate the hint that Roxy is transmasc here. As someone who liked transmasc Roxy, but also as someone who never super cared about Roxy, the The whole, like, sometimes I don't know if I love Dirk or want to be Dirk or whatever the fucking wording is, to be like, look, she's transmask. No, it fucking sucks. Like, I'm sorry, Roxy stans. I love you. Roxy sexually harasses Dirk. That's a thing. Like, that's a thing she does. I love her anyway. I don't hold that against her. She's 16. But she sexually harasses her gay best friend, and he feels guilty because of it, because he wishes that he could be attracted to her and date her and give her everything she wanted. He's fucked up about her sexual harassment. And it's fine because they're 16. I mean, not like fine, but like, I don't know. But no, it's just phrased as like, Roxy really loves Dirk, and it's fine. And I don't know, then we get to Dirk, and okay, so a lot more happens with Roxy. Like, we go to see Mom, and it's very sad, and like, bad shit happens, and just like, I think that was a really neat how like, you go into the past, and then the future is different type shit, because like, your house isn't finished enough, because like, she didn't have time to prepare enough stuff, but whatever. I'm focusing on one thing. I'm Dirk-centric. This is a Dirk-centric podcast. So we go to Dirk, and Dirk's route, and listen, I was told beforehand that the person who wrote Dirk loved Dirk, that it was a good Dirk route, and all that stuff. But we start off Dirk's route with Reader going, okay, well, I figured out that, all the kids I'm meeting now are the kid versions of the Guardians of the kids I met before, which means this is Bro, who fucking sucks. Sucked so much that the person who wrote Dave's route specifically did not want art of him made. Because fuck you, anyone who likes Bro or thinks that all characters should be represented, and if you actively don't like a character, maybe you shouldn't be writing a route that character appears in. Anyway, this is Bro, and I've been talking to all these other kids, and they all have horror stories that involve Dirk in some way, so Dirk is the worst. And like, obviously Dirk ends up not being the worst, and like, Reader tries to pull the whole therapist thing, and Dirk's like, yes, I know, I have this problem, this problem, this problem, this problem, this problem. I love him for it. It's very heart player to list out all your problems, but when someone tries to make a genuine connection with you, you freeze. Love it. Love Dirk. But it ends up getting into shenanigans before we can get into the fact that the whole point of the Alpha Kids is they're all shitty to each other. They're all shitty to each other. Every Alpha Kid is a piece of shit to every other Alpha Kid. That's the point of the Alpha Kids, is they're terrible, terrible 16-year-olds who are isolated for various reasons, and they don't know how to interact with each other probably. They don't know how to interact with each other properly. And they're bad. They do and say bad things to each other, even with the best intentions. It's problems. It's bad. But no, in Pester Quest, it's framed as Dirk is the only one who is bad to the other friends. Dirk is... It's so frustrating. Like, I feel like if we could have stayed in Dirk's route longer before it went into fucking Homestuck 2 epilogues fucking bullshit. I'm sorry, Sunny. I don't know if you're gonna listen to this. I'm sorry to all of my post-canon fan friends. But if we could have gotten more of Dirk's route before it turned into that, I think we could have had a chance to explore, like, Dirk being like, yes, these are my friends, and then let slip something bad they do to him, and Reader after having to be like, okay, but they're also shitty to you too. You are not the bad person in everyone's life. You are not some emotionless husk. Bad things happen to you, and you're allowed to feel bad about them. You should feel bad about them. You shouldn't try to explain it away and make it like you are above all that shit or whatever. Like you can't feel bad about it, or you deserve to be bad. Like, whatever. Like, whatever you want to interpret the bullshit that Dirk is going through, like, sitting down and having him acknowledge that other people are actually being shitty to him would have been a great thing for this route to do. But instead, we had to do the epilogues and alt Dirk and all that shit. And also, fuck you, everyone who made edits of old older Dave yelling at Alt Dirk, that doesn't happen in Pester Quest. And it gave me so much anxiety and was one of the big reasons why I didn't want to play Dirk's route, because I didn't want to see Dave yell at Alt Dirk. I have a lot of opinions about that. I still have an episode in my head talking about how Alt Dirk is right, actually. So I'm tired of all the, yes, Kanaya's gonna kill Dirk, and Dave's gonna punch Dirk, and fucking, I don't know, just so much bullshit. I have a lot of angry opinions about that, but that's not what this is about, maybe. So the fact that y'all made edits of something that didn't happen, that gave me more anxiety, and did not, I mean, I guess it would be clear they were edits to people who played it, but these edits were coming out, like, really quickly after Dirk's route came out, and I could not avoid them, and I hate it. I don't know what my point here is. I don't want to dwell on Alt Dirk too much, because it makes me mad. And sad. It makes me smad. I just really hate how dirty Pester Quest did the Alpha Kids. They didn't let them all be shitty. They let Dirk be shitty. They tried to make a point about how you need to stick up to your friends, when What Pumpkin is like that. And then, all the queer rep that they tried to shove in there, that sucked, and then they claimed wasn't canon, and then they acted like was canon. I did most of that angry rant in that one bonus episode, though, so I'm not sure I need to go back through it. It just sucks. Like, I'm sorry, none of the queer rep that they try to put in Pester Quest is real. It's all fake. None of it's real. It's bad. It's bad queer rep because it's not there, and they're trying to claim it's there, when at best it's queer coding that can be interpreted multiple different ways, but if you don't interpret it the right way, or if you don't see it at all, then you're wrong. I hate it so much. I hate current Homestuck fandom so much. There was like a good couple of months at the beginning of 2019 when I first joined, and then it just like went to trash. And has been a hell place ever since. And now I have so many Homestucks blocked on Twitter, and that's really the only way you can live your life. It's just to block everyone. I don't know what the point of this is. 413, be angry. Like, this is... I think I just want to remind people to be angry, because there's so much that we just move past because we have to move past. But how quickly we move past it pisses me off. And some people can't move past it. Some people, maybe it contributed to their declining mental health and contributed to them needing to go into partial hospitalization for a month. Maybe that happened. Maybe. Who knows? Just a hypothetical situation out there. Because this fandom is trash. The Twitter fandom's trash, at least. I'm trying to get into the Tumblr fandom and see if that's any better. We'll see. Stay angry. Fuck Hussy for trying to act like we're the only ones, like the fans are the only ones who like harassed What Pumpkin, and it wasn't an environment that What Pumpkin caused and participated in. Don't trust anyone. Don't look up to anyone. If someone has more than 2 followers, they're bad. I'm kidding. That's a gross oversimplification. I'm just angry. And the people I see saying, well, at least this person is the good person of What Pumpkin, or this person is the good person of the Homestuck fandom, they're not. I guarantee you they're not. There's shit on all of them. And that's fine. There's allowed to be shit on people. People are allowed to be bad, actually. People are allowed to, like, make mistakes or actively do bad things and just, like, grow as a person afterward. People are allowed to do things that you personally don't like but aren't actually inherently negative. Like, that's how people work. But when you act like they're the only good person, it's very frustrating. Especially since some of those people are more than just did something I personally dislike, and are actively contributed to harassment. Point is, nothing is sacred. Stay angry. Hold your friends accountable when they fuck up, but it doesn't have to be in public. You don't have to do a call-out post on fucking Twitter.com and encourage dogpiling of them or what the fuck ever. You can have a private, kind conversation with them and try to explain what happened, and if they're not actively hurting people, then it doesn't have to go beyond that. Wow, this is really hard that I have a mic in front of my face, and I can't conceptualize this going out to the public and a lot of people listening to it, so I just want to keep getting into more and more bullshit of things I don't like that I talk about on Twitter. But that's what my Twitter's for. That's not what this is for. I've been angry enough on here. I don't need to get into every single point of discourse. Anyway, happy 413. Pester Quest could have been better. Cats are a menace. I have another podcast coming up. This one's dead in the water because I can't make any episodes without being angry. I'm just going to be angry. If I make another episode of this, it's just going to be angrier, and I will get into more discourse. And even the episode that I've had in my head since basically the epilogue's released about how Old Dirk is right, actually, is just going to get very bitter and angry. And so many of you have told me that this podcast was your escape from the discourse and the angriness and everything. And I can't do that to y'all, except for one day a year, maybe. We'll see if I do this again next year, but this could be the last. I don't know. I'll be doing a feed drop of my next podcast I have coming out. It's called Fake Gamer Bro. I will be talking about mobile games I play. You can follow that on Twitter at Fake Gamer Bro. I also have an Instagram, Fake Gamer Bro, a Facebook group, Fake Gamer Bro. So, catch it April 16th. I'm sorry. I wish I could be the positive fandom experience that y'all look to me for. But I can't. Because this fandom and What Pumpkin has caused so much damage to people for so long. And I can't sit by and make episodes pretending it's not there or trying to tell you how to fix it. Because if you're listening to a podcast trying to figure out how to fix the fandom, you're probably not what's wrong with the fandom. And the people who are what's wrong with the fandom don't care to fix it because they like what the fandom is. But there's people out there who aren't like that. You don't have to bow to those fucking assholes. Block them. Don't give them any attention. Don't live in fear of them or any of your friends who are like them. Fucking drop them all. There's another community out there waiting for you. I know it's hard to drop your friends, especially what seems like just fandom drama, but this is more than just fandom drama. This is affecting people's mental health. So many people are afraid to express their opinions online over stupid shit. They're afraid they're going to be canceled and okay, I'm not getting into cancel culture right now, but they're afraid that they're going to be called out and have all their friends taking away, their support network, their fucking money, potentially, if they rely on commissions or whatever to get by. And we're holding that over them because they have a wrong opinion about fictional shit. It's so fucked up. Just get rid of them. I promise you there are good people out there. You can find them. Hit me up if you need any help finding communities, and I'll try to send you to the right places. Like, you don't have to live in fear. I promise you, life is so much better on the other side of this. Yes, I'm still bitter and angry, but I'm bitter and angry because I see my friends afraid to be who they are and express how they feel online for fear of retaliation because of stupid things that don't matter. Do you know what it was like trying to explain to a therapist and a group of people who aren't connected to the internet like I am that, yes, I got harassed and kicked out of things because I had a different opinion on a fictional character than they did. I had server blowups. I lost friends. I caused other people to lose friends and get blocked because I have different opinions on fictional content than they do. They see a drawing on paper on the internet and they go, "You don't see that the same way I do, and so you're the worst person in the world." Please, please get out of those circles. The more people who get out, the more people who will realize they can get out. I know some of you are only saying hateful shit online because you think that's what you have to do to stay in your friend circle. You think that's what you have to do to be considered a good person. You don't have to do it. Get out. Life isn't like this. I mean, it is, because you're living it. But it shouldn't be. There's options outside of this. Friendships don't have to be like this. This isn't healthy. This isn't normal. Please, please get out of these sections. Please get out of these areas. Please learn and teach others to have more compassion for each other than protectiveness over someone that doesn't exist. Real people matter. Your queer and black and like friends of color, they matter more than someone that doesn't exist. I am not sorry I'm angry. I'm just sorry I can't be that escape for you anymore. Anyway, I'll see you on the flip side. Check out my Patreon, Jax Yax. Check out my Twitter, Dirkification. Find me wherever, man. I'm out there.